We love shooting, hunting, and educating. So if you want to learn about long-range shooting, you're in the right place. This is the Long Range Addicts Podcast. Shooter ready, stand by.
Hey everybody, another wonderful Wednesday. We appreciate y'all joining us. Tonight we've got my homie Josh in the house. Appreciate him taking the time out of his busy schedule to come talk to us. Up first, of course, I want to thank our great sponsors, Benchmark Barrels. As always, again, go check out their stuff. They've got a lot of new stuff coming out. Between their barrels, which I just started running some of their barrels, which are showing, really good promise. I'm excited to shoot those. As always, we're trying to help educate, trying to help everybody learn a little bit. So again, if you have ideas for the podcast, or if there's somebody you want us to talk to, bring on and, educate the public, let us know. We're always willing to do it. How you doing, Josh?
Pretty good, buddy. Thanks for having me on. I know we've talked about this for quite some time, so looking forward to chatting with you.
Hell yeah, it's been a while. Me and Josh have known each other for, it's been a minute. It's been Barnes Day. So it's been over 10 years probably now.
Yeah, I've been with H-S now for a little over 15, and it was shortly after when I met you. So it's been a while for sure.
Yeah. Well, it goes back a ways. Let's introduce
prettier, buddy.
That's what everybody says. They're like,
so it's all good.
I don't even recognize you anymore. Who's that fat kid with a beard? That's what everybody says anyway.
It happens, man. At least you still got some hair.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see if it stays there. I hope it does.
Well, good luck with that endeavor.
If nobody knows who Josh is, if you're an NRL shooter, you'll know who the Boom Shakalaka is, because that's Cluffy. He's the one that shoots hats off cannonballs in Texas and hunts with Dino at Swaro and stuff. But tell us a little bit about Josh. Let's hear the backstory of the Josh Cluff.
Oh, man. Well, all the stories, none of them are true, but actually probably most of them are.
Crap.
That's me. I enjoy life. I like to have fun. I enjoy myself, and I've been very fortunate to be where I am. I absolutely love hunting, love shooting, love fishing, camping, anything to do with the outdoors in general. So to have a career that allows me to chase that passion has been very rewarding for myself. I'm extremely fortunate to go on some tremendous hunts, and I don't take that for granted. So me as an individual, I'm a family man. I've got 3 girls. I've got an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, actually last Tuesday turned 12, and then a 24-year-old, all girls. So, I used to have a dog. He was a male dog, but he's not around anymore. So it's just a bunch of girls in my life, but love them to death. They're awesome. My middle girl, Erica, she is a hunting fool. Now, if I go anywhere and don't take her hunting with me, she's like, Dad, I want to go. I'm like, well, babe, we're going to Alaska. We're going to do, I want to go, Dad. I want to go. So anyway, that's kind of me. I enjoy life. And I'm very passionate about the shooting sports industry in general, about hunting. There's nobody I know that likes to hunt more than I do. And I know we all like to hunt, but any chance I can get, whether that's with a rifle, a bow, a stick, a muzzleloader, slingshot, if it's a legal weapon and I can harvest it legally, I'm all about it. So.
That's good. I mean, that's cool that your kids are interested in it too. But, there's a lot of lack of testosterone. As you can see on his wall behind him, he's got to go find places to hide every once in a while so he can get away from the lady folks, I guess.
It's the man cave. The man cave sees a lot. It's basically a reloading room now. I used to come down. I had furniture in here, a place to hang out. Now I just moved everything out. It's got benches and it's my peaceful time. It's my meditation when I get down here and reload. And unfortunately, it seems like some of that passion's been lost a little bit. I enjoy reloading when I'm doing it because I want to do it. But when I'm doing it because I have to, getting ready for a match or something of that nature, then it becomes more of a chore instead of a hobby. So, it's a fine line.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things, as a ballistician, or I worked for Barnes for so many years, it kind of ruined it for me. It took it from that point of relaxation to something that I had to do, and then I freaking hated it. But it's just one of those things, now that I'm getting back into it, and I've even had to go watch a few videos. I'm like, things have progressed in the reloading world so far. I was watching some things on YouTube the other day. I'm like, holy crap, that would have been nice to know 5 or 10 years ago. It's just the things have grown so much on how to keep, everything going and keep consistencies. And it's just it's interesting. And I mean, you can chase your tail for 20 minutes trying to figure out what you're doing with the load, but it's kind of cool to see what you can do with the load now. Kind of
It
makes
really
you
is,
feel
and
like
just the
a scientist.
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
So,
exactly. I mean, it's not the day where you just threw powder in and seated a bullet and called it good. There's so many
right.
advancements, and from bushing dies to mandrels to everything else. It's you can spend a lot of time in the loading room. That's for sure.
I'm going to chase the ESs and the SDs, trying to get all that down, trying to figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah, always striving for that lower group, that smaller group,
Yeah.
that lower SD.
Yeah. So, I mean, HS has been, really, I guess, on top of the game when it came to supporting, like the NRL and some of the matches and stuff. And I know you guys have donated a ton of rifles and as a match director, I appreciate that. And most of the NRL tables have seen an H-S Precision Rifle.
Right.
Let's kind of go into it and explain to people, the idea behind what HS is doing there, and then maybe go into kind of a brief intro into what HS is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'll probably start with the latter, and that'll help as we ease into this. So, HS Precision, for those of you that don't know us, obviously most of us know us for our stocks. That's what we're well known for. Right now we produce 150 plus different models on an OEM direct basis, on an aftermarket basis. But there's some bigger parts of our industry or our business that a lot of people don't know about. We're the leading supplier and producer in the ballistic test barrels. So you've known that from your previous experience. We also do some other things that aren't publicly advertised or promoted because it's on a smaller scale, all stuff internally. And then we also build our own complete line of rifles, from heavy tactical rifles to lightweight hunting rifles, kind of everything in between. So, brief background on HS Precision. We started in 1978, actually, as a barrel manufacturer before we even did stock. So, Tom Houghton Sr., our founder of HS Precision, purchased Atkinson Barrel Company in Prescott, Arizona. So he was very passionate about shooting and really in silhouette shooting and then small bore bench rest. Progressively, as his passion continued to strive, his background was in chemical engineering. So he developed a very dense polyurethane based material that we still utilize in our stocks today. But his passion for some of the shooting sports really took off on the barrel side. We still basically produce our barrels the same way that we did back in 1978. We're the first ever company to fully integrate an aluminum bedding block inside a synthetic stock. So other people have taken aluminum bedding blocks, put it inside of a wood stock by hollowing out and channel it, but we actually take a molding process and mold the aluminum bedding block inside the stock itself. So we're definitely most commonly known for our stock side of things. We're getting pretty well recognized on our complete line of rifles, most noticeably back in 2003. We won the contract for the FBI to build the FBI HRT hostage rescue team with their complete line of sniper rifles. So that was kind of a big feather in our cap that kind of really put us on the map on our rifle side of things. And since then, we've supplied rifles to military and law enforcement agencies around the world. Also, we won the contract in 2008 for the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, and the government of Israel to supply them with a HDR 338 Lapua. We're very diverse. And it's one of those things that we're one of the few rifle manufacturers in the world that build every single component of the gun. So we take great pride in that. And we take ownership on that. So if there is ever an issue or a problem with one of our guns, we don't point the finger at anybody right back at us, because we're the only one that built any single part associated with that gun. So it's a sense of pride and ownership, and we have got a tremendous staff. You know, we fluctuate between 60 to 70 employees, and they are some tremendous craftsmen. They make my job easier because the product sells itself. So, you know, it's just we've got a great group of individuals that really do, you know, it's one thing to say it, but they really do take pride in what they do. And we stand behind our product. I mean, everybody, you know, can say they've got great customer service, but, you know, I think we take it to a little bit of that next level when it comes to the customer service side of things. And so I'm rambling on now, but that's basically in a nutshell kind of what we do.
It's all good. No, there were some points in there that I definitely want to kind of walk back and go through. And something Josh did hit on that I really wanted to talk about was them creating every part of the rifle. Now, a lot of manufacturers will buy a stock from someone else, and they'll buy a barrel from someone else, or, you know, all that, which is crazy because these guys can control everything. The other thing that you guys can control is reamers, right?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. There's so many great rifle manufacturers out there, custom and semi-custom. And this day and age, there's so many good products available, and all rifles are going to shoot really, really well. Kind of what separates us from the custom gunsmiths, so to speak, is in the assemblers, is the fact that we do build every single component. So it's been engineered, designed, manufactured, all to work together in unison. That allows us to control every aspect of it. But not only do we build every component, we build all of our own tooling to build every component. So what you mentioned, chamber reamers, we build all of our chamber reamers in-house. Our rifling heads for our rifling machine, our drill heads, we build everything specifically in-house so that we can control the tolerances. We're not relying on somebody else to supply us with a piece, a product, or a component that may or may not meet our standards. Subsequently, we don't have to mark that up either. So, you know, we can take that. We know what our margin is. We know what it costs us to produce these items, you know, and our average retail on our guns, $3,800. So it's not a cheap budget rifle by any way, shape, or form, but, you know, it's not a $10,000 custom rifle either. So, you know, on our rifle sides, we allow the customer to spec it out. They can pick the color, they can pick the caliber, the barrel length, the twist rate, any accessories, Cerakote options, rings, bases, scopes. I mean, basically the sky's the limit. We've got over 10 million different configurations. And so, you know, what we like to try to do is when we're talking to the customers, I mean, we sell more guns relating to the customer. You know, what hunt are you going on? Well, you know, what's the ideal caliber for it? There's so many different calibers. Well, what's the ideal bullet? What's the standard barrel length? You know, proper barrel length of pull on the stocks. Everybody's a little bit different. So, you know, we try to give them as much viable information as possible so that they're, but ultimately is we treat every rifle as their dream rifle. Some of our customers have disposable income and they can buy as many rifles as they want. Other customers have sold every single factory rifle that they've owned and saved up for a rifle. So, you know, we want to let them know that is the limit. You can spec it out basically exactly the way you want it. If you're unsure, then, you know, we've got a great sales and technical support staff that can answer any questions or make recommendations. But ultimately, they tell us exactly what they want. We build it to their specs.
Yeah, and that's cool because, you know, a lot of companies, they'll give you a baseline of, you know, 5 rifles, 10 rifles max, you know, and you're either spending $8,000 on one, and, you know, there's a big fluctuation. But the cool thing is you're giving somebody the opportunity to build almost a completely custom rifle, and in my opinion, it is budget friendly because I'm used to the $5,000 to the $8,000 to $10,000 rifles, you know. So you're getting a stock, you're getting the action, you're getting the barrel, you're getting all the options, you know. And just looking through some of the options, it's just crazy, the ability to, you know, cheek pieces, length of pole. I even saw one in there that was the recoil reducer, the Mercury recoil reducer. I mean, for, you know, a larger caliber. So the ability to go in and just kind of build out what you want is cool. And the website looks like it's got a lot of this stuff on it. And you mentioned you guys were going to work on it a little bit more.
Yeah, we actually just launched that new website this year. There's some things that we need to do in on back end. We just hired a new marketing, digital media, social media manager who's got expertise in the website. Her name is Jenna, and she is absolutely amazing. I mean, she's only been with us for 6 days now, and just what she's accomplished. So that was actually one of the meetings that we had today, is going through the website. Just kind of updating it. The company that put it together did a great job on the layout. They did awesome. It's just we need to fine tune it a little bit, get some more up to date current options that are available. And just kind of tweak it a little bit so that it's a little more user friendly as well. But it does have a lot of viable options on there now. We do recommend to our customers, if you see something on there or got any questions, just give us a call, shoot us an email. But you'll find most of the stuff currently on the website as well.
Yeah, you've got like the HDR, which is heavy tactical rifle. I mean, a lot of people look at that rifle and go, "Holy crap! If I were to put that together, I mean, that's probably a $5,000 or $6,000 rifle." And you've got it on here for $39.99.
You look at most of them on there, $37.99, $39.99, and that's the complete rifle. You've got the action, the barrel, the bolt, the trigger, the stock, everything that we manufacture in house, and it's all under one roof too. So it's not like we're getting parts from one warehouse and putting them together. Everything's done completely under one roof, and we've got a saying, it's designed, engineered, and manufactured. Well, it is from ground up. And not only do we build the components, obviously I mentioned the tooling, but it's all raw material. I mean, we're starting from raw material for the trigger, the recoil lug. I mean, you name it, and it's all machined right now. So that's kind of something that we take great pride on, and you just don't see many, if any, manufacturers that do that these days.
Yeah, I'm playing right here. For you guys that are going to be listening on the actual podcast, sorry you can't see this, but I'm playing on the screen with, some of their build outs. This one's the Hdr Precision Rifle. Now, you guys have been pushing more and more into precision rifle. You were originally, almost 100% hunting, and really pushing. But, in the last few years, you've really taken off and, supported the precision rifle community. And, I've seen Josh Reeves. He's won a couple matches with, I believe it's this rifle right here, the HTR, isn't it?
Yeah, that's our precision rifle on there. So that's specifically designed as a spinoff on our HDR, but mainly towards the long range shooting disciplines, National Rifle League, Precision Rifle Series. And actually, so Josh Reeves is one of our brand ambassadors, just started shooting the HDR in a 6. He is shooting a 6x47 Lapua, actually. A super great guy. We're honored and privileged to have Josh as one of our teammates. But yeah, so he's shooting that model on a 6x47. And is doing extremely well. So, I'm glad we've got somebody who actually can shoot worth a darn, representing our products, because I don't ever do them justice. But I've tried doing better, man. I've worked really hard at it. I think it's just loft, man, which is lack of freaking talent. But, one of these days,
the thing is, when me and you started shooting together, we were both, bottom 3/4, bottom percentage. I'm still there. You've been working your ass off, and I'm seeing you, top 20, doing some good things. So you can't say that you're not working your ass off to get to a point, because I know I haven't been practicing, and it really shows when I go to a match. I just go there to make everybody feel better about themselves. But no, you've been doing a lot better.
Yeah, this year I've got a 10th, an 11th, a 17th, and a 22nd. So, I've been hanging it, and the competition these days, it's so stiff, but it's my nature. I'm a very competitive individual. And it drives me absolutely crazy. Like, I go out there to the matches, I'm trying to represent the product. I'm talking to people about the product. So, I'm working, but deep down, I want to compete. I want to shoot well. So I've put a lot of time and effort into actually getting out there and practicing. Maybe, a little too much, because I seem to be burning out barrels quite frequently. And we've got an extremely backlog. So, Doug, our barrel maker, he says, "Cluff, you need another barrel again?" I said, "Well, yeah, please." So, it's I enjoy the discipline. We've got involved with it from a company standpoint. because let's face it, this day and age, hunting is so commercialized that it's getting difficult to find access to land to hunt. Most of the land has been purchased up by outfitters and running guiding services. And for the average Joe, it's pretty difficult to get out there and hunt, or pay some of the fees that are associated with it. So, the number one growing shooting sports right now is precision rifle. So, NRL 22 has come along. They've made a huge name for it. But basically, as kids are getting in there, well, what are they going to do? Are they going to have a discipline to shoot? Are they going to be able to go hunting? So at least we are understanding that and taking it from a company standpoint to get more involved with it by brand ambassadors, by sponsoring the matches, and getting out there and competing in the matches itself. I find that very important. That I wish a lot of other, company representatives or company personnel would be a little bit more involved. There's a lot of them that are, and it's just such a great community. It's a bunch of like-minded individuals that are going out there banging still at long range, and it's hard to beat that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one of the biggest reasons. I mean, most of us even started in the beginning because we had homies. Shit, we saw Cluff. We want to go hang out with Cluff this weekend. Or we want to go hang out with whoever, and it's brought a lot of people together, and it's kind of brought HS, I know personally, into more into the limelight of what they can do. Because you can see what one of the precision rifles shoots, so you're going to want a hunting rifle to mimic that. But on the page that I've got pulled up right now is barrel blanks. Now, you guys sell just straight barrel blanks. Looks like you got about a twist for everything, and you've got fluting.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So, we've always built our own barrels for our complete line of rifles. We've also built the ballistic test barrels, and we've been doing that since 1978. We increased our barrel capacity here a while ago. So 2 years ago, we actually started offering barrel blanks again. We haven't offered them since the late 90s, basically. So we are offering blanks again. Right now, we are extremely backlogged on them. It's one of those that we kind of weigh that pretty cautiously. Barrels are absolutely fantastic. We take great pride in the way we produce our barrels. Every barrel is a cut rifle barrel. Doug, the guy who runs our rifling machines, he's still rifling them on old Pratt & Whitneys that are, World War I, World War II era, that he has personally custom fabricated himself. The guy is just absolutely amazing. I mean, I can't say enough about what he does. He is a true craftsman. He machines all of his own rifling heads, the cutters, the tooling that he does. It's just, so the barrels are unbelievable. They really are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from the ones that I've shot, they've all shot freaking phenomenal. They built me that gun right there. It's a 6XC, and I've got to go shoot it. It's one of those things I've kind of told myself here in the next, I don't know. I started trying to get too much into my business and not focusing on, shooting or doing a lot of the other stuff that I should be doing. So now I'm going to go shoot it and stretch its legs a little bit.
It's tough, man. It really is. Nowadays I'm getting older. I don't sleep much, so I'm generally up at 3:30 in the morning. No later than 4:30. I'm in the office by 5 most of the time. Sometimes 3 o'clock, and there's just not enough time in the day, man.
Judas, no thanks. I can't do that. I guess, as you get older, you always say, you're like, well, that's not going to happen to me. And then it comes around the corner and bites you in the ass. But
I should back up on that, because usually when I'm at home and, not traveling, I'm in bed by 8 o'clock. So, I am an old man, in bed at 8, up at 3:30.
I can't do that. I'm a nocturnal individual. You can text me at like 1 a.m. and you'll probably get a text back. But if it's like 8:30, you probably won't reach me. Maybe 8:45, you might get me up. But that's just because my kids have jumped on me and they're going to school. But I'm a nocturnal individual for the night.
Yeah, you shoot me a text at 8:30 at night, you're not getting a response till the morning, but you might get one at 3:30.
I'll show him for texting me.
So just remember that if you text me or anything like that, make sure you put your phone on silent before you go to bed.
I do it anyway. My wife yells at me. There's people that call me on the East Coast and stuff at like, 5 a.m. It's like, hell, do you not own a freaking calendar or a daylight saving thing? Or good heck, it's funny. Up on the screen right now, and I kind of wanted to hit this because a lot of people don't realize how these magazine conversion kits work. I've got one in my XC, but so what happens is these magazines go up, they fit inside the bottom metal, and then they don't move like an AICS mag. They've got a really stable, I guess, mounting platform, I guess you could say. Can you explain to everybody a little bit more about your detachable magazine systems?
Yeah, absolutely. These are one of our most popular selling items. They're extremely high demand. They sell very, very well due to the quality of them. They're all stainless steel. So we actually redesigned this system about 6, maybe even 7 years ago now. So these are all our Gen 2 versions that we have. And what it is, it's literally a direct drop-in replacement for any standard 700 BDL. And what the BDL stands for is the hinge floor plate. So if you've got a Remington 700 and the floor plate swings down, that is a BDL. So our bottom metal literally drops directly in. It replaces it dimensionally. It's the exact same. So you literally can take your existing floor metal off, put the new floor metal in, throw the magazine box in, torque your action screws down, and be done. Good to go. Sometimes there is some modifications. There's an old video that you can see on there. Inside some of the wood stock, there's a little bit of area. There's an additional piece of foam, but it's not any inletting in a Dremel tool. You can literally take a flathead screwdriver and just pop that out. So the material itself, both the magazine boxes and the floor metals are machined from stainless. The magazine boxes are stainless. And then they're Teflon coated in that matte black finish. We do a polymer boot around the bottom of the magazine box, and that actually goes up into the floor metal. There's 2 spring tension wheels on the side of the floor metal that touches that polymer boot and keeps keeps tension on the magazine box and the floor metal so that it does not rattle even when it's not loaded. It's all a center feed, center stack design. So we've got several different capacities from a low, medium, and a high. That's going to be 4, 5, 10 rounders on the short action, 3 and 7 rounders on most of the long actions. And they're extremely versatile because you can use them for almost any caliber simply by adjusting the feed lips. So we do a magazine adjustment tool with some dimensional gap differences on there that you can reference. A lot of guys honestly use a pair of needle nose pliers. So we don't recommend doing that, but that's just an attribute to its versatility, and it's a great option. They're very popular a lot on the OEM side. A lot of semi-custom gun manufacturers use our bottom metal because there's no additional inletting or anything like that required. So they're a fantastic setup. They work very, very well. They feed extremely well.
Yeah, from the 6XE, that one that I've got, I've never had an issue with it. And going back to that, a lot of shooters, they'll bind a mag up in a barricade or something by pushing on it, and then it never feeds right. The way this goes up and sits flush on the bottom, it doesn't bind or do any of that, which has always been really cool for me to learn about. But I never realized that they were a 700 exact footprint to a BDL, so that's cool. So I'm gonna have to go try this one and a couple others and play with it and see how it works. But
yeah, so we do offer, so there's a little bit different on the rifles that we do. On our rifles itself, we've got a slightly different design floor metal. So our rifle design is proprietary to our rifles. These are all aftermarket ones that are strictly for a 700 or any 700 clone for that matter. As long as the spacing on the action screws is the same, it'll work for all the different 700 clones that are out there.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll have to be placing an order then here pretty soon because I need some.
Absolutely.
As you talked, you guys are known for your stocks. Now, CZ, Howell, Remington, Ruger, Savage, Weatherby, Winchester. I mean, you've got a whole big list of available stocks, and Remington's probably been your biggest that I know of that you make, because Remington offered a lot of their rifles with an HS stock, and a lot of people didn't realize that it was an HS stock on some of their rifles, but they were. I guess maybe how is the relationship going to go with Remington with all this stuff? Have you seen any negative?
Well, that's the ultimate question these days, isn't it? Yeah.
Hmm.
So Remington has been a great partner of ours for, gosh, since the early '80s. They are by far our biggest customer. On an OEM basis, we supply thousands and thousands of stocks directly to Remington. We do it on the Sendero, the VSSF2, the LTR, the Mil Spec. So there's obviously the M24. So there's a ton of different models that we do. A lot of people don't realize that it is H-S Precision stock because it says Remington on the recoil pad. But we build those
Hmm.
stocks just the same way as we do for our OEM with Weatherby, our OEM with Howa, our OEM with Savage. So, it's to answer your question, its entirety. Right now, we haven't seen any changes internally. The forecasts are still there. Um, Payment has still been there. So we work very closely with those guys, and we're running full speed ahead. We've completely revamped our stock production. I've been there for 15 years, and there's been times where we've quoted 10 to 12 months on adjustable stocks. So we changed the way we did things. We went away from a strict lean manufacturing process to carrying internal inventory parts, aluminum bedding blocks, and running our most popular stocks, our adjustable stocks, our 25, 26s, 13s, 97s, 96s, all these different very popular SKUs. We run them daily. So right now, you call us up, order a stock. Most of the stocks will have shipped within about 2 weeks. Our most popular SKUs that we have, um, generally in our most popular color patterns, are olive gray, tan and black, granite, sand. We have those that we've stored specifically. We created a new warehouse out back. So you call an order of stock, in a standard stock and a standard color will ship the same day. So that's something that we've worked a very long time to get to. So, we can't change the speed in which we produce the stocks, but we can take some in our machine shop and run some of the aluminum bedding blocks so that we have them readily available, running more manuals, running more molds, more personnel. So, the demand for our stocks have always been very, very high, and now we're finally able to keep up with it. And it's made our job from the sales perspective so much easier. Just call up, yeah, what kind of stock do you want? Absolutely, we got that going. If we have to build it, we'll put it in the production flow and have it to you within a couple of weeks for the most part.
Yeah, and that's been a problem with a lot of the other, manufacturers. A lot of them haven't really learned to roll with the punches, I guess you could say. And I think there's a couple of them that I know for sure that are hurting, now because of it. But that's good to hear that you guys are there, in that point. And the other good thing is that it sucks for a customer, but it's good to hear that you're that far out on, manufacturing, because that means you're selling a lot of stuff, which is awesome. That means you guys, your products, are great, and people keep coming back and buying them and everything else. But I know I've got a couple of the 007s and I love them. I've got another one right here, and I'm not sure which one it is, but I've got another one right here. My wife keeps trying to steal. She loves the color of it. It's like green and black. Every time she walks into my office, she goes, "I want that stock." And I'm like, "No, you can't have it. It's too good." But it's
So
just
sure, you
it's
can borrow it
crazy.
anytime you want, sweetheart.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life, right?
That's right, man. That's right.
Yeah. Explain to us a little bit about your actions. Now, you guys build your own actions. Um,
We do.
and a lot of people may or may not have felt them, ran the bolt on them. Help us understand a little bit more about your actions.
Yeah, absolutely. So our action itself has a standard 700 footprint, like a lot of them do. But basically, what we did, we developed our own action back in 1996. So, at the time, looking at all the stocks that we incorporated, trying to build our complete line of rifles, obviously, most of our stuff was the 700. So, we took our action, we developed our action off of the spacing of a 700. We use a larger 8x40 screws for the base screws on top. And then we use an over obviously you can see on that bolt there, that's similar to a Seiko style extractor. And then we utilize a 3-position style safety similar to a Model 70. So basically we looked at it and took the best of all 3 worlds and incorporated it into our own action. And we've had some slight design changes to the action over the years. We design our own trigger for the actions also. So, we're building the bolt in house, the firing pin, and we hold the tolerances on the bolt and the firing pin through hole. I mean, it's astronomical, some of the tolerances that we hold on those. So It's a very seamline, very smooth action, a faceted recoil lug that you see on there as well. So, we've got some new engraving on the action itself. It's just get a little bit more professional looking and be representative of the kind of product that we're trying to release and produce.
Yeah, and that's, I think a lot of people recently have been doing that, changing the look of the action or changing the look of at least, the engravings on the side of them to make them kind of not look like a billboard, but make them look, kind of more streamlined and sexy, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
So,
that's exactly it. I mean, it's cosmetic, but the downside that we had to our previous one, so functionality and everything was great, but it was rolled stamp. It just didn't do the receiver justice. Not that, we're super concerned about the cosmetic. All of our rifles are designed as tools. We don't do fancy wood, or anything like that. Our number one, our rifles are built for a tool, whether it's a tactical application or a hunting application. It's all stainless steel material, synthetic material on the stock that's made of carbon fiber, Kevlar, fiberglass, obviously the aluminum bedding block. So, you could drop that sucker off the back of your truck, dust it off and keep going. So, but it does give it a nice finish to it. And you can look at it and, you can tell it's an H-S Precision rifle.
yeah. Do you guys, crap, I'm pushing all sorts of freaking buttons. Do you guys still have the deal with the FBI, or is that up, or how is that working?
Yeah. So we won the initial contract in 2003. So since then, we're still serving the contract. We just recently did a bunch of barrels for them. So we did a little bit shorter barrel configuration that they were done in the past. We're doing with their ballistics lab right now, working on some ballistic test barrels, some pistol calibers and things of that nature. So basically, we fulfilled the contract for the complete line of the rifles. And now it's just anything else that they need. Rebarreling. They went from a 24-inch barrel to a shorter version barrel as well. So basically, it'll come back up and it'll come to an RFQ and, see what else they need. So.
Yeah, that's cool, because a lot of people try to use that wording in their rifle. I've noticed a lot more and more of the HRT, the people try to use it to try and get, I guess, garner an edge on the game of what they're trying to. It's all a marketing thing, right? Trying to the HTR or
Right.
the HRT rifles, but it's kind of interesting to watch
Right.
how everybody kind of uses it. But you guys actually have, used contracts and different things. So that's kind of a big chip in your pocket to where you can say that you've done that. Now, I know you guys work a lot with like law enforcement and military. For like law enforcement people out there, what do your rifles kind of offer them?
Yeah. So basically, our flagship is on that HDR side of things. So we do offer law enforcement programs. They can contact us directly. We can get them all the internal specs. We'll send loaner rifles, sample rifles for them to do demos with and things of that nature. That's one thing. We've started putting on a lot more demos and bringing rifles out. And, our rifles isn't something you can go down to your local sporting goods store and pick them up, because every rifle is individually built to your specs. But we do offer a law enforcement pricing program for them as well. And then we work with them, on bids and contracts and everything that most law enforcement agencies have to deal with. So, we try to take care of them as best we can, and we offer law enforcement agencies around the world that we've been dealing with for years and years, and we get new ones, on a very frequent basis. And most of that stems from our HDR, our heavy tactical rifle. We do some other models on there, rapid deployments, short tactical rifles, and things in which a lot of the specific agencies require that particular platform. But most of them is in the HDR. It's our go-to rifle. Did I lose you?
No, I keep pushing the mute button.
Oh,
And
okay.
I
I can hear you
forget.
now.
It's just how it's just freaking squirrels. They're everywhere. I was just saying, if you're listening on the freaking podcast, go on the website and kind of look at this. There's a lot of stuff that you might not know about on the website, whether it's colors, barrel lengths. They do a lot of left hand, right hand. That's a big question we get asked a lot. Who would you recommend for a lefty rifle? So
Every
these guys
single
can do
rifle
it.
we do, yeah, every single rifle we build it left-handed. So
Yeah, and they're stocks. So if you're looking for a stock, you're a lefty, you don't have a lot of options. Look into the H-S Precision ones because they got a lot of stocks. I can't believe you guys keep up with the amount of SKUs that you have on stocks. Like, have you ever thought about getting rid of some of them, or do you really sell that
we
many
have,
of
yeah,
each?
actually. Well, over the past few years, we've got rid of quite a few. There was some oddball ones that we used to do back in the late '90s and early 2000s, and we build all of our stocks from a molding process. So we're machining the molds in house as well, and some of them were outdated and need to be replaced. So we did a market analysis. We looked at past sales history. Said, you know what? Because it is extremely expensive to develop a new mold or rebuild a mold for that matter. So we got rid of a lot of them, but we also started adding. So the last couple of years, we've started adding some stocks to it. We just re-released a Ruger long action sporter style stock. We're currently working on a short action version right now, which is one that I've wanted to do for an extremely long time. So that is in the pipeline right now. There's a new stock on our carbon fiber rifle that we have right there. That one is new for this year as well. And basically, it's kind of a hybrid. So we took our very popular PST 25 and 26 tactical stock with an adjustable length of pull and cheek piece, but basically took the design aspect of that and then put it onto a hunting rifle. So, most of your hunting rifle, your application, you really don't need the adjustable length of pull, but this day and age with optics getting, most of them are 30 or 34 millimeter tubes, 50 or 56 millimeter objectives. Your traditional hunting or sporter style stock, you can't get a good sight picture. You can't manage recoil well. So the adjustable cheek piece models have been an astronomically popular stock for us. So.
Yeah, and I'm glad you kind of hit this because this is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to kind of bring on, from SHOT Show. When I first saw this rifle and I picked it up, a lot of people are like, oh, that thing's got to be heavy because it's got the adjustable length of pull, it's got the adjustable cheek piece. But I picked it up and I was extremely surprised at the weight on that stock with how big it is. I mean, it's not one of those little teeny, chintzy fore ends. The thing's built very, very well. What is the weight on that stock? I don't know if it has it down here, but
So the stock itself is going to weigh. So we've got a couple different models. Some of them with the full length aluminum bedding block is going to be about 2.5 pounds. We also do one like on this carbon fiber rifle here. We do it with a half the aluminum bedding block. So just the aluminum bedding block is on the action itself. We reinforce the fore end with more carbon fiber. So that one's going to weigh under 2 pounds, even with the adjustable cheek piece. It'll be right at 2 pounds with that adjustable cheek piece in there. So still very stiff. You've got the aluminum bedding block. You've got the Kevlar, the carbon fiber, the fiberglass, but it's still a fairly lightweight stock, including that adjustable cheek piece that's on there.
what is that stock around if somebody just wanted to buy the stock?
So the stock itself runs $549. And that includes the cheek piece. We sell that same model without the cheek piece, and it runs $469.
And see, that's, compared to a lot of the other carbon fiber models, that's extremely well priced. If you look at, some of the Manners or the Macmillans or some of the others, I mean, they're upwards between $800 and $1,000 for the same thing. So that's extremely well priced for a,
Yes.
carbon fiber lightweight stock that is adjustable. So, if you've
Yeah,
been
and
looking
now
for,
just to clarify,
go ahead.
on that one, Cole, the stock, so that is our carbon fiber wrap barrel on there, but the stock itself is made with the same as all of our other stocks, which includes carbon fiber, fiberglass, Kevlar, a dense polyurethane-based foam material that's the structural core, and then the aluminum bedding block. So the stock itself isn't strictly carbon fiber. It contains all of those other components as well.
but it is extremely light. It
Yes,
under
very.
2 pounds and all that. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to hit at. It's like a lot of people
Right.
are like, oh yeah, I want light. Okay, I'm going to wait a year and a half. What are your lead times on this stock if somebody were to order it?
So that stock right now we're running, we can have it done within about that one's a little bit longer than most, so 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's a crazy quick turnaround for a stock, and I'm going to definitely have to get one of those because I got a rifle that I know it needs to go on. Let's go into the
Yeah,
rifle
that's
itself.
yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't realize that you created a carbon fiber barrel. Now there's a few companies coming out with carbon fiber. We talked with Bartlett a few weeks ago. They've got one. What is special about your guys' carbon fiber barrels?
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been something that we have done research and development over for years and years and years, and have wanted to do a carbon fiber wrap barrel. Um, but we wanted to do it correctly. We wanted to do it the right way. So, we did a lot of market research and it ultimately decided on the best way to proceed with it. So, when you, for example, purposes, you're taking all the other carbon fiber manufacturers that are out there, and there are some good ones. Like I've heard some really good things about these Bartline barrels as well, and I'm glad to see them coming along with the carbon fiber because that's what's in demand. But what we've done with it, and I think some of the other people on the carbon fiber side in the past have struggled because of the core. What barrel are they using for the core? Well, obviously, our carbon fiber wrap barrel is going to use our standard stainless steel 10X cut rifle barrel core. So that in conjunction with a proprietary wrapping process that uses substantially less resin than anything else culminates. I mean, we've had several of these carbon fiber when we did the initial testing, and we were shooting 10, 15, 20 shot strings to there to try to heat them up to see if we could get that deviance in shot strings. That's the kind of the knock previously on the carbon fibers. Well, it retains heat, anything like that. Well, we don't do or take credence to anything unless we've done it or tried it or tested it ourselves. So we've had very good success with the carbon fibers so far. They've been extremely popular. We're getting ready to do another big production run and fill some of the customer back orders that we've had with them. So ultimately, our goal is hopefully to be able to keep up with production so that we can um, offer them as barrel blanks. Because right now, only on our complete PLR rifle or our PLC carbon fiber rifle. So hopefully we can offer them the blanks in the future. Once we, keep up with demand on there, then we'll try to do that anyway.
That's good to know. Yeah, I thought you guys were just had the barrels, but I forgot you told me a couple weeks ago. Like I said, there's squirrels everywhere around here, it seems like. But I really wanted to hit your guys' lead times and stock availability and different things like that because a lot of people, I don't know necessarily say they overlook it, but I know a lot of people when I talk to them or they contact me, they're like, oh, well, there's only a couple manufacturers that we really look at, but they don't realize, who else is out there. And that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to have you on today, because we kind of give everybody a little bit more in depth into, hey, these guys have these available. You're not waiting around 6 months to get it. It's something that, is high quality. You guys stand behind. What's your guys' warranty on your stuff?
All of our stocks is a lifetime warranty. So, if ever chips, cracks, breaks, any type of defect with it whatsoever, send it back. We'll repair it for replacing it. So, we've got stocks that come back in that was back in the early '80s, and we're looking at it, man. Because nowadays we've got emblems and everything. You can obviously tell it's there's no question it's an H-S Precision stock. But back in the early '80s, there was some that looked pretty similar in there. And every once in a while, we'll get them back. It's got a chip in this, fore end where the swivel stud goes or something of that nature. And, we obviously can't repair that stock because things have changed back there. So we'll send the customer a new stock. That's part of goes back to our customer service side of things. So, it's a lifetime warranty on them.
Yeah, that's awesome because a lot of companies, you're shit out of luck once you buy something. So, that just kind of adds more to the whole effect of everything. Let's what are you even hunting this year? You're going on some hunts. I know you always are, but what are your hunts coming up?
Yeah, man, this whole deal, it's it's been tough. So I'll usually try to get up, and do a hunt somewhere. But this year, the travel bans and everything else, we put in the last 3 years in Alaska to do a mountain goat hunt. It's always been one that I've wanted to do, and just unfortunately haven't drawn. But anyway, so no huge plans this year. I've got is getting up there in age. He drew a trophy tag, archery tag last year in Arizona, and I took a week off and went down and spent with him. But he's been my mentor, my best friend, and he's getting up there in age, so I want to spend a lot more time hunting with him. So he's going to come up in October. I've got another little antelope hunt going in the beginning of October, and then I'm going to take him in October. We're going over to Wyoming, over to Casey's place where that ELR match was. I'm going to take him out there. And then a couple weeks later, I drew an Arizona coos deer tag. He lives in Arizona. So I drew a deer rifle tag along with him. I'll go down there and hunt that with him. And then turn around in November, we've got an archery tag here. And then he's going to come back up in November and hunt with a bow deer. Then December, I head to Kansas for a hunt. And then a couple weeks later, I go to Texas for a whitetail hunt. So a little bit here and there.
Judas. Hell, I'm just trying to find a freaking antelope tag. Casey doesn't love me enough. I got to figure out how to get into his good graces to sucker him into it. I got to give him some goodness or something to try and get up there. But I mean, I've got that's the stupidest thing. I've got 6 Wyoming antelope points because I just keep putting in for the points because I am stupid in the spring to figure out. Oh yeah, you got to hit. You got to put your. Imagine that you've got to actually put in for the tag, to get it. So instead of just buying point, and usually when it hits me, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, Casey, I mean, he's such a good dude. He's got so many people that have hunted with him for 15, 20 years. And he's only got so many spots, and I was actually lucky to sneak into one, and hopefully he keeps letting me come out because I sure enjoy it. And, it's 3 hours from the house here. So, and there's no shortage of antelope out there. That's for sure.
No, there was a crap ton of them out there when we were there for the ELR match. They were all over the place. What do they call them?
We had to stop shooting.
Yeah,
prairie rats. Well, yeah, we had to stop shooting set targets because an antelope would walk by.
Yeah. Well, we could have had a barbecue later or something. We just wouldn't have had to. We couldn't have told anybody. But
yeah, he one of them. So that's a funny story about that. So we were shooting, so many different squads that are in there and antelope, and they'd stop. Okay, pick up where you left off. Well, because we're all obviously guests of the landowner out there, and so I was in Casey's squad. He was shooting in front of me, and anyway, we had one of the stages he was shooting, and you could see it open. It was walking into the target, and obviously you could see it in his field of view. Well, he's the landowner, and he's like, no, he's fine. I'm gonna keep shooting. Okay, kept shooting, and obviously, nowhere close to the antelope in there. But anybody else would have stopped and be like, all right, hey, let's redo this. He's like, I see him. He boom.
He'll figure it out one way or another.
Yeah.
Hey, Vern asked a question. Let me scroll back up here. He wants to know about Mercury recoil reducers. He goes, I have 4 of these in various rifles. I think they work quite well. What is your opinion on their effectiveness?
Yeah, absolutely, Vern. So the Mercury recoil reducers are a very effective tool. We generally find them more effective on your dangerous game rifles. So your 375s, your 416s, something with more of a push type of recoil as opposed to a recoil, an ultra mag, or something of that nature. So they are very, very popular when we are doing on some of our pro hunter rifles, that we are using some of the bigger magnet calibers, more the dangerous game stuff. The disadvantage to them is they do add about half a pound to the weight of the stock itself. A lot of the lightweight rifles that people will frequently request to be installed on, it does change the balance point of the gun, so the butt end gets rather heavily. But we do quite a few recoil reducers, but mainly in those configurations.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what they were for the longest time until you see the nitros, like the 470s, 500 nitros, and you're like, hell, what can I freaking put in this that's not going to, it feels like I'm getting kicked in the face every time I shoot it. So that's one of those
Right.
big things that do come with it, which is cool that you guys offer it, because a lot of companies don't offer it. So,
Yeah, and what we do is so it's a Mercury field tube that we install inside of the stock prior to installing the recoil pad. So it's actually embedded into the stock itself. So they can be extremely effective. One thing, if you are doing a muzzle brake with it, they counterbalance themselves. So, my suggestion, when you do a muzzle brake in there and adding a recoil reducer help, by all means, they certainly will. But if you leave the brake off and add the recoil reducer, that's certainly going to help more with the recoil reducer side. The brake itself is much more effective in reducing recoil than a recoil reducer is, but they are very viable options in there. We do a ton of recoil reducers by request.
Yeah, that's cool. So before we wrap up, we've got about an hour in. What is there anything that we missed that we need to really hit on? Because I know I've learned some stuff, and hopefully everybody listening has. But what else could we really put into somebody's brain about HS?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, the biggest thing in closing, there's one big topic too, but basically, what we're going as a company and our mission, we've got some really incredible staff there, some great individuals. Um, and we're trying to get back to our roots of being an innovative product and bringing innovative products to the market. That's kind of how we started back in 1978. We're a very innovative company, so we're trying to get back to the roots. We've got a lot of new products that are coming out. We've got some really cool projects that are in the works. So that's kind of, as we move forward, we're kind of continually increasing our production capabilities, which we've done really well on the stock side of things. We've got vast improvement in rifle production. We are extremely backlogged on those. We need some vast improvement on the production of our barrels, but we're working on that. But the biggest thing in kind of advancements in technologies that we're incorporating to the production side is the addition of our three-dimensional laser. So we have a three-dimensional laser scanning technology that we utilize in scanning all of our barrels. Basically, it's a laser probe that goes down through the entire length of the barrel, and it physically measures bore, groove, twist, depth, and it'll measure it down to 1/10,000ths. So it has been an absolutely
Wow.
game changer in the industry. We have been able to utilize this technology and this tooling. We provide a service. You can send other barrels in and we can scan them. But we've always been a firm believer in the quality and consistency of the barrels that we produce. But now having the ability to physically measure, before, what people do, and looking at a barrel, is you can do an air gauge measurement. You can look at it through a bore scope. You can get a reference on there, but physically measuring the entire internal dimensions of the barrel it's been an incredible tool and resource for us. We've learned tons about our internal production process, how we build our tooling, our rifling heads, and we can validate the quality and consistency of our barrels like no other person that's out there. So that's been a big thing for us. We're super excited about that. We're continually increasing its capabilities. We scan every barrel that we produce, whether it's a ballistic test barrel or a rifle barrel that's going on there. If it doesn't qualify the strict standards that we have set the criteria on the scan, then it gets rejected prior to even getting shot. So we guarantee all of our rifles. We shoot them for accuracy. If it don't meet the half-inch accuracy, then it doesn't go out. But we can utilize this technology if there is any defects, to scrap that before it even gets to that process. So, that's one of the other things that we're trying to utilize more in conjunction with improving production processes and getting back to the forefront of offering some new products. We went years and years without doing new products. So we're listening to our customers. We're paying attention. We've got a bunch of great people, and we're excited about the future.
Yeah, and I had mentioned this earlier. It's amazing how many companies, that have been around forever, have just kind of got into the groove, and they haven't really evolved, and they haven't, listened to their customers. And like, oh, we still got it figured out. And that's where a lot of these other companies are kind of coming into place, and That's awesome. It's amazing to me how many, gunsmiths I talk to, and I talk to them when I ask them about their barrels. Are you buying a barrel that's air gauged? Are you buying a barrel that, what are your dimensions and stuff? And they go, I don't know. It's amazing how many companies don't really understand what they're putting on a rifle or what they're spinning up. You know what I mean? And it's interesting to me to kind of watch some of this stuff grow, because it seems to me like, any guy that's got a lathe in his garage, he's become a gunsmith. And I don't know. It's interesting to watch, but
it really is. And it can be pretty scary at times. You see some of the stuff, and, some just need to pay attention to what they're doing. That's all. That's about as polite and cordial way as I could say it.
yeah, Jim C's been putting some stuff up on his. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I've seen old Mr. C.
Have you seen his latest pictures? It looks like they used a DeWalt to freaking thread a barrel, and they used a wood
I
chipper
haven't
and a
seen that one yet. No, but that's the great part about C. He'll call them out, and he can stand behind his work as well. I mean, he does fantastic products, and there are some I've seen some that he's shared in the past that it literally is a safety issue. So good for him for calling it out.
Yeah, there's been some bad ones he's posted, and I'm like, how in the hell, and then they have the audacity to still charge somebody $4,000. I'm like, that ain't $4,000, maybe $400 worth of work, but
yeah.
it's funny. But we can go off on a whole nother tangent there, but we appreciate everybody joining us. We appreciate Cluff, taking the time out of his busy schedule. He's always crazy busy. Trying to get a hold of him, it's kind of crazy. It's just how life is, which is good, because that means HS is cranking out some stuff. But I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming on, and hopefully we can help kind of show everybody a little intro into what HS is here, because I mean, like I said, I even learned something tonight, so that's what this is all about.
Absolutely cool. Good to see you again, man. Thanks for having me on, bud.
Good. Thanks, man.
Take care.
Don't be afraid to pipe up.